Hey there folks, your favorite YouTuber that makes videos that are way longer than they probably should be here. Before this video gets started, I have something really quick to mention. I have a really old laptop that I've been using for everything, including recording and editing these videos. Well, it turns out this computer is so old and rickety that it didn't want to both record me and record the Earthblood trailer full screen with a decent frame rate. There are several points during the recording where it dropped to under 1 frames a second, and I did not know that till I finished recording and looked back over the video. Unfortunately, since this is a reaction video and discussion, and mostly discussion as opposed to reaction, but because it did have a live reaction to it and everything, I'm going to keep the video I had and I'm going to record a smaller window of the trailer that I will try to put over the screen when I'm actually watching segments of the trailer. Whenever I pause the video, it goes back to a decent frame rate and all that, but whenever it's full screen and whenever a video is going, the frame rate will slow down until it gets absurdly low. I apologize for that, but just wanted to give this little disclaimer in the beginning. For now, let's check out that video. Well, hello there everyone, and Earthblood loves to yank my chain. So as you can see here, yesterday, I'm pretty sure really late last night actually, they finally released this cinematic trailer. Now, for those that don't know what I'm talking about, I had delayed the videos that I was thinking of doing, either the story time or the discussion about Cahal, to instead wait until they released this new cinematic trailer at the IGN Summer of Gaming event, which was originally on June 5th. June 5th came and went, and I'm pretty sure June 6th came and went, nothing. So, we all assumed it had been delayed, and that's what it turned out to be. It was delayed till June 10th, or at least their part of it was delayed till June 10th. And then they had a watch party that I didn't go to, or participate in, and then they finally launched this trailer 6 hours ago, apparently. And there's going to be another trailer July 7th. So, we're here for a reaction again, since my last reaction did fairly well. Before I get into this, something that I want to say right quick is, remember, this game so far is scheduled to come out between Q2 and Q3, quarter 2 and quarter 3 of 2020, this year. Q2 runs from, I think, April to June, and Q3 is July to either September or August, I'm pretty sure. So this game is supposed to come out within the next few months. And so far, we still don't have gameplay, but I'm going to kind of get into that later, after we actually watch and react and discuss this trailer a bit. So I really hope that this cinematic trailer actually shows some story, maybe has a little bit of narration or something to it, but I haven't watched it yet. I've been waiting to react to it with you guys. So without further ado, let's get into this, and we will... Oh, well, it already started. All right. So some of these trailers were, some of those scenes were in previous little trailers as well, is worth noting. Actually going to turn up a little bit. Okay, we've got a nice big old tree with red flowers. Red because of blood, if I had to guess. Or it's fall, doesn't matter. Alright. Chain link fence, machines. Yep. Probably Pentex crap or Endron. There's that power loader again. I swear they are really emphasizing those power. Oops, they are really emphasizing those power loaders. And we've got a. Well, this is a lovely reaction. There we go. I'm so professional. That's gonna be Cahal, I'm guessing. He's got the gloves. He's got the head. He's got the beard. Doesn't look quite as old as he looked in the previous trailers. Oh, look, it's blood. I wonder if it's blood of the earth, perhaps? Like Earthblood? Sorry. Again, scene from one of the previous things. Endron. I'm not actually sure what those glyphs are. Maybe somebody in the comments can help with that. I'd have to go back and do the rule books. That one will slit a little bit. Oh, tree getting ripped up. Now, I'm guessing the fact that everything is time-stopped is either just a stylistic choice, or they're actually using a GIF that stops time. I'm not sure which. Also, a scene from one that we've seen in previous trailers. There's some... Ooh, yeah, we've got some worm spawn. And we've got this area looking like the infestation from Warframe with a flood from Halo. And there's Cahal in his werewolf, or his Krynos form. Epic Games Store? Oh god, I swear if this is an Epic Store exclusive. Ugh. Okay, so, no, we are not going to watch whatever the next video is. So, let's actually stop and kind of discuss this for a bit. So, the actual trailer itself was really good, but it didn't do what I was hoping to do, and let me explain that. So, as I've spent several months thinking over the previous trailer, the reveal trailer as they called it then, and I think they still do, I liked it, and I do still like it, but I've had the time to think about it, and I guess my honeymoon phase with it's a bit over, I guess is kind of the best way I can put it. It's still a good trailer, but that kind of made me think a bit. When I think of trailers recently, they tend to show a little bit more of what's going on off, you know. It might have a little bit of narration. Like, good example, the trailer for Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 2. It had narration, it had people talking, it showed off several characters, it showed, you know, shots of presumably Washington, Seattle, that it's supposed to take place in and all that. It showed off a lot of stuff. The first Earthblood trailer just showed off a lot of, for lack of a better term, and I'm not trying to be rude when I say this, well, not rude, but like on the nose, very disjointed scenes, you know. Here's a bit of the power loader. Here's a thing that either is a Karen or some kind of earth elemental, wood elemental spirit. We can't tell. Here's some few shots of wolves growling. Here's some shots of Cahal looking pensive and or angry. Here's a few shots of a Krynos form, probably of Cahal. You know, just all that. And it's good to kind of catch somebody's attention. And it's not necessarily bad for a reveal trailer, but... And I'm going to tie this in if I ever make a video here soon, and I'm planning on it now that I've seen this second trailer, of discussing Cahal some more, and kind of discussing the overall way that this game is being presented so far. Is, to me, it doesn't feel like it's doing the best job it could pulling in players that don't know anything about Werewolf the Apocalypse. This trailer, I felt like, did that a little bit better. Because, you know, somebody sees the previous trailer and they just see a bunch of these flashing scenes and some heavy metal. They don't know about the story. They don't know if the werewolves are good. They don't know if the werewolves are bad. Don't know if you're a villain antagonist, an anti-hero, or a true hero protagonist. You know. And we kind of have the same thing here. I mean, and let me switch this back over because I can't get the fades to work on OBS for some reason. Again, this is a good trailer. I'm not saying it's not. Although, like I said, so these scenes right here, I'm actually real quick going to go back over here to the Facebook page because I'm pretty sure that before they were going to release one of the trailers, yeah, this one. Sound's not coming on. There we go. But like, see, this is all the exact same scenes. But this was way back in, if it'll load over here, I do like how the cover seems like it'll be. That was released all the way back on December of 2019, along with the announcement that the 5th edition was coming in 2021. Give them a Father's Day. So, yeah, until then, prepare to unleash your rage next year and Werewolf the Apocalypse Earthblood. So those scenes are the same as the beginning of this trailer, which, is fine. It's fine to reuse stuff. And personally, I feel like this video might have been a bit better for the reveal trailer. Like, honestly, my view is that these two trailers probably shouldn't have been so far apart. Because if I'm not mistaken, the first Earthblood trailer, the reveal one that I reacted to, was, let me see if I can get the date. Oh, is that it? No, that's... Okay, here's the reveal trailer. That was October 19th, 2019, and this was, June 10th, 2020. So that's what... I'm not good with math. Well, okay, so October, November, December, January, February, March, April, May. We'll tangentially say June because it was basically halfway through June and then halfway through October. So that's about 6 months between the two trailers. And kind of like I said earlier, what I really feel like these trailers are lacking is something that really pulls in players, interested people, journalists and players that don't know anything about Werewolf the Apocalypse. Because, and I was going to tie this in more if I talk about, Cahal and my feelings of him being an already set character. Werewolf the Apocalypse compared to, say, Vampire the Masquerade. Vampire the Masquerade has some differences, like some of their weaknesses being different and whatnot, and, some of how their stuff works in the clans and all that. But overall, the vampires in Vampire the Masquerade are very similar to vampires that you would see in, say, Interview with a Vampire. Not Twilight. God, no, we're not even going to talk about that. But like Interview with a Vampire, that typical kind of modern Anne Rice kind of view of vampires was, done pretty well, along with a couple of different ones. The Nosferatu were obviously similar to the older ugly kind of vampire looking things, but overall it wasn't too different. If you're familiar with vampires in some form, then you kind of get the general idea of the vampires in Vampire the Masquerade. Werewolves in Werewolf the Apocalypse, on the other hand, and even Werewolf the Forsaken, the Chronicles / New World Darkness version, are very, very different from typical werewolves. There's no lycanthropy. They have multiple forms. They're not forced to turn under a full moon. They're the good guys. I mean, a lot of times in werewolf media, just like with vampire media, they tend to be antagonists. They tend to be evil. They tend to be bad. But they're the closest thing to good guys you've got in most of the World of Darkness, aside from maybe the non-zealous hunters in that form. So, and plus their rage and their gnosis and the umbra and all that kind of stuff is so different. So, to me, when an average person sees these two trailers, they get that it's a werewolf game. They get that it has something to do, not just from the trailers, but also from some of the other stuff that has been said on their page and on their Discord and all that, is fighting Endron mostly, which is an arm of Pentex for those that don't know. It's the oil extraction arm of Pentex. And we know that we're werewolves fighting against industrialization, that we're apparently the good guys, that there is a power loader because, dear God, they emphasize that so much. I mean, not that I'm complaining, it's interesting. That was a Endron guard right there, wasn't it? Yeah, he's got the body armor, he's got an M4. Neat. Although, I mean, there's a Pentex thing. This is really getting into nitty-gritty details, but they apparently have their own rifles that they created, Pentex did, that are kind of designed with like overly large parts for the Fomori, like the one that we see later on in the trailer, and I'll come back to that. So that if they have tentacles or malformed arms because they're horrible mutations. He also has, that's either a knife or a gun on his hip. I can't tell. Let me see. Oh, it looks like a gun to me. I don't know if I can play this back in slower speed. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's a gun or a knife, but or magazines. No, it's a gun. I can see the grip right there. It's a pistol, I think, or a enchanted gun, a fetish gun. Again, if nobody knows anything about World of Darkness, fetish just means magical item. It's a real thing. Look it up on Wikipedia. It's another term for magical items. But like I said earlier, something else I noticed, and it could just be because of the fact that it's using these washed-out colors, but Cahal's face in this trailer compared to how he looks in the, pre-release art and in the previous trailer, he doesn't look near as old. And that was something that I was going to kind of bring up if I discuss, if I make the video discussing Cahal. I do like the stylistic choice they have of, for the longest time here, having everything be in black and white except for the red. The red and the kind of oranges of the trees, and then it changes. Now, and again, going back to what I was saying earlier, a person that doesn't know anything about World of Darkness, doesn't know about anything about Werewolf the Apocalypse, doesn't know how Garu in this setting are, they're going to see Cahal doing this, how he kind of has this, reaction, and starts shifting into his Krynos form. People that don't know anything about Werewolf the Apocalypse are going to think that he's changing under a full moon. And again, that does not happen in Werewolf the Apocalypse unless you get really down and take a certain flaw at character creation that makes it to where you can only transform under specific circumstances. I do still like how that wolf did that little Tokyo drift there. Yeah, ripping up the tree. Although, okay, no, hold on. I gotta take another look at that, because this was something that confused me earlier when I was watching it. I also don't know why I guess OBS is taking up a lot of my processing thing here. But, anyway. And then I don't know what those glyphs are, so somebody might have to let me know on that. So, I'm gonna see if I can stop it here properly. Okay, so we see in the distance there that this excavation thing looks like an excavation thing they're logging, which is something they've mentioned a little bit in some of the material before the trailers, is that they are kind of doing, destroying the forest around their Karen, which again is probably why that wood forest elemental type thing showed up. At least what I assume is a wood elemental, or the Karen, or a guy in spirit, I don't know, should have been the previous trailer. But like if you notice here, okay, so the fact that now what we saw, and again, this is why I got confused, what we saw as the excavator taking up the tree, I assume this is either another Garu or kinfolk wolves. I don't know which. But I assume they're probably other Garu, considering it keeps mentioning his pack. But that would mean that either the rest of his pack is lupus, or they're using their lupus form to get there quicker, but getting sidetracked. It seems like they're trying to say that either this is what the wolf is seeing, this is what he's seeing the excavator as, or if these are Garu, then it could mean that this is what they're seeing in the reflection in the penumbra, in the umbral area, or that it's a worm spirit, a bane disguised as an extractor or something like that. I mean, you saw for a split second there still looked like there was a little bit of steel or metal along the thing, so it could be a disguise. And again, I don't know if everything being stopped here is a stop. Oh, okay, so it's the same thing there. The actual like claws of the power loader also have that look. And considering the rest of it seems relatively normal. I mean, it's going along the arms too. Like I said, it could either be an umbral reflection, or it could be showing that the arm areas of those two machines are worm-tainted, worm-enchanted kind of thing. He's wearing his sunglasses at night. That's another scene from the trailer. Okay, and yeah, we see here, these are obviously either Fomori or straight up Banes that they are seeing. Now, when I first saw this, I kind of assumed that this right here might have been Cahal that they're walking past, but no, it's clearly either another Endron/Pentex employee or another Fomori. He seems like his arm is normal, but obviously we can see this over here is very mutated, so this is very likely a Fomori or a Bane. And the way that his arm is kind of ties into how I mentioned that they make in the Book of the Worm, they mentioned that they have their own assault rifles that are designed for horribly mutated Fomori and Black Spiral Dancers to use. And it even looked like the gun that this one was holding, I think that's another M4. I mean, I can see the carry handle, but who knows? It's probably a small detail. It doesn't matter, but we see the Endron armor/shirt that he has, or I don't want to assume gender, it has. So it's probably a Fomori. And again, with the fact that it has this red tint around it, like they do when they were looking at the power loader and the excavator, this is probably umbral reflection. Then, like I said, more seemingly umbral reflections here with the red. Again, reminds me of either the Flood from Halo or the Infested from Warframe. I've been playing a lot of Warframe recently, so bear with me. They all come around. Cahal has shifted into his badass-looking Krynos form. Lets out a nice howl. And again, full moon. So that could, like I said, confuse people that don't know about the Apocalypse. And then again, if you do know about it, it's showing that, it has 3 different forms there. Although the Krynos and Lupus form probably look similar to people who don't know. So, yeah, more coming at Nakon Connect. Now, I don't know what Nakon is. I don't know if they're a company or somebody putting on a convention or whatever. Werewolf the Apocalypse, Earthblood, World of Darkness, and it'll be released for the PS4, Xbox One, Unreal Engine Sunrise Studio. Epic Game Store, not the best choice. Well, I think Cyanide's a bit of a smaller company compared to some of the other ones that have gone Epic exclusive. Epic and the Epic Game Store logo are trademarks of blah, blah, blah. So, yeah, it looks like they're going to be... and they're under license from Paradox, so Paradox has a hand in this. And Paradox has usually done good by me. There's few things Paradox has done that I don't really care for, at least that I've played. I mean, I like it all quite a bit. So it seems like this is going to be an Epic Store exclusive on PC, which I was probably going to get it for PS4 anyway, because I'm not sure I'll have a new computer that can actually run Earthblood by then. And even if I did, I wouldn't want to get it unless they have good modding support. And they mentioned before they were pretty sure that they were going to include some modding support, because that was one of the things that made Bloodlines so successful. So, so we'll see how that is. Like I said, I might have a new computer by the time this comes out. I don't know, like I was talking about earlier with the Q2 and Q3, I don't know if they're planning to delay it. As of now, I haven't seen anything on them delaying the actual game. So, and I mean, even here under the YouTube gaming thing, it still says 2020. So it theoretically is supposed to come out this year. I can understand it being, pushed back all the way to December, or even them moving it to 2021 with the beer bug, the coronavirus, and the unrest that's go. I was wondering if they were even going to do this IGN Expo, considering the Rona and the unrest going on in all these places. I'm not sure where this Summer of Gaming took place, and I don't know if it's an area that's being racked by the riots and stuff. But something I will say real quick that I noticed about this that does give me a little bit more hope. Some of the people in the comments and in previous trailers and stuff relating to this have been discussing that it almost seems like it might not be a RPG anymore. That it almost seems like it's being shifted to more of a brawler type game that might have some RPG elements. And because they're being kind of tight-lipped on the gameplay, it's hard to know for sure. And that's something I'm going to get into in a second. But the fact that it here says, the cinematic Werewolf the Apocalypse Earthblood trailer scratches the itch for a werewolf action RPG we didn't know we had. Werewolf the Apocalypse Earthblood is based on the tabletop game Werewolf the Apocalypse, aka WTA, published by White Wolf Publishing. In which is the Garu werewolf part of the World of Darkness, aka WOD, fictional universe. Werewolf the Apocalypse Earthblood will be released on, yep. Thank you for, and then the rest of it's just yeah, about time werewolves get more respect in gaming. Finally a werewolf game. Yeah, you know, people seem happy. It's got a really good like to dislike ratio, and hell, I'll even like it. Oh, right, I'm not signed in. I did this in a private window just so, you know, we don't end up with recommendations and stuff. Although the only time I had it mentioned last time was a guy mentioning that I have good taste because I watch Gray Still Plays, which I do. But I think we're all mostly done looking at this trailer stuff, so we're going to shift back to good old full screen me here. For the last few thoughts on this, some stuff that I said that I was going to discuss later. I'm not even sure how long this video's been. Oh god, I'm already on 24 minutes. Shit. God, I make this shit too long. I'll probably put timestamps in again just to help people, because I know not everybody likes to watch something this long. But what I want to discuss really quick before I end this, since it's been so long, is I'm starting to get a little worried that they have not shown us gameplay yet. Now, it would be really smart on them to have that next preview that is being shown at that convention, the Nakon Connect July, or Nakon, I don't know how you pronounce it, on July 7th. Wishlist now on Epic Game Store. I hope and expect that they will show off gameplay then. Because as I've thought about it more and more, the fact that they have not shown off any gameplay yet, at least to us, there were supposedly rumors that they did show off some gameplay behind closed doors. At the first convention they showed this off to, where they released the first trailer, the one that I did the previous reaction on, that they showed some gameplay behind closed doors to certain outlets and journalism and all that. And they said that it looked cheesy and that it looked like it would be kind of a brawler. I don't know how much I trust that, because it is the gaming media, and if anything, over the past few years, they have proved themselves to be very untrustworthy. I only trust what I can see for myself and from YouTubers and reviewers and whatnot that I trust. So, I don't know. There has been some whisperings and some worry that this is mostly going to end up being a brawler with little to zero RPG elements, and I think if they get rid of a lot of the RPG elements, it is not going to go well, because World of Darkness is a role-playing tabletop series. Its foundation is in RPGs and being a Garu and the different paths you can take, gifts you can get, rage you can unleash, is all tied to the RPG-style progression systems. And the only thing I can say, and some people have discussed this in some of the comments I've engaged with, it is possible that it is kind of a kind of idea for them to like have their first game be a brawler with not much RPG elements to kind of, and a preset character in Cahal, to introduce us to Werewolf the Apocalypse and this side of the World of Darkness, and then later on maybe release one that's more RPG focused, that's more closer to the actual tabletop, that's maybe closer to a Garuified Bloodlines, Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines. And don't get me wrong, because I know some people are probably thinking this. I'm not saying that Werewolf the Apocalypse should be like a, Earthblood should be like a, or any game for that matter, should be a turn-based, you know, Persona or Final Fantasy or whatever style turn-based thing. I think an action RPG works, and that's what the first Bloodlines was like, and that's what Bloodlines 2 is probably going to be like. I think action RPG is a very good format to have this be in, especially for being a Garu, and that it would be heavy on combat and heavy on brawling. I'm just worried that you're going to end up with a game that's a brawler with like a tacked-on upgrade system. That's what I'm mainly worried about, but you know, I might discuss that another time, but I want to tie back to trailers. This is supposed to come out this year. By now, it should be in its beta phases. I would be surprised if it is not in its mid to late beta stages, considering that it's supposed to be released in a few months, or at least this year. Again, if they want to delay it, that's fine. With everything going on, I completely understand that, and I think everybody that's ready for this game would. But if it is this far along, and they've been supposedly working on this since like 2017 or 18 when they originally put up the trailer or not trailer, teaser and a website where it was just Werewolf the Apocalypse, the official video game. That was the only thing we knew about it. No Earthblood, no main character, no nothing. Just a picture of a growling Garu, official video game, bam. That was all we knew at the time. And, you know, it's supposedly been in development. That could have just been a teaser, and they didn't actually start development for a while, which probably wouldn't have been the smartest idea on their part. But it's supposedly very long in development, and the fact that we have not been shown gameplay except behind closed doors is very concerning to me. To me, it screams either A, they're moving things along very, very slowly, and they don't really have the combat ready yet, or B, they have the combat ready, or there might be a C as well, but B, they have the combat ready, but they're worried it might not get a good reception, so they're waiting to unveil it until they either fix it up more or it's close to release and they don't plan on fixing it, so then we wouldn't, be as angry. At least at the time, we'd probably be more angry once the game actually comes out. But, just delaying it so we don't know how it is, because people have kind of expressed a little bit of concern over that. Or C, let's see, what was C? Oh, that they've been working on nothing but story and cinematics and maybe like conversational stuff up to now, which is maybe not the best look, because as some of the Final Fantasy games proved, you can have big, shiny, amazing cutscenes, and not even Final Fantasy, actually, that's probably a bad example, but a lot of other RPGs do this. Big, shiny, amazing, beautiful cutscenes, but then the actual gameplay is not the good and the combat's really bad, and you might be able to push aside the gameplay and deal with the story if the story's really good. And I could see that. World of Darkness has always been good with stories, and Masquerade Bloodlines was really good with its story too. So I could get that, but if you're a werewolf and combat is such a major part of being a Garu, you should really have already had the combat ready. But again, we'll see on the 7th. So overall, I felt like this was a pretty good trailer. It didn't have, again, as I said throughout it, it doesn't help introduce people that don't know a lot about Werewolf the Apocalypse to the setting. So we'll have to see if the next trailer does that. And that's, again, something that I kind of want to discuss a good bit in the Cahal video I want to make. I was waiting for this trailer to come out, see if it had any new info about Cahal before I made that video, but since we didn't get any information about him in this trailer, really, I'll probably go ahead and make that here soon when I'm not busy. I've got a busy weekend coming up, going to a meetery and all that. But, even people in the comments down here, I'll even switch this back over real quick. Even people down here in the comments seem, and this is the impression I've gotten from some of the people talking about it, a lot of people, about time World's got more respect in gaming. I don't know if he's saying that and knows about Werewolf the Apocalypse or not. I bet that a lot of, here's a guy that played the Rage card game, Werewolf the Forsaken and all that. And yeah, I feel like the World of Darkness needed a lot more games. There's only 3. There's 2 Vampire the Masquerade ones and then a Hunter the Reckoning one. I think Hunter the Reckoning. But I've got this impression from some of the people in these comments and some of the people on my previous Werewolf Transformations in Games, my previous video. There are a lot of people that don't know a ton about the World of Darkness that are just being introduced to Werewolf the Apocalypse and stuff, that are just Werewolf fans. So I'm hoping that either the next trailer or the game itself, and again, that's something I'll discuss in the Cahal discussion video, that they need to have either of those situations, the trailer or the beginning of the game, introduce people to how werewolves and Garu society work. And Pharaoh society, for that matter, the other changing breeds. Or people are going to be really, really confused. But again, I'll do that more if I make another video, which I want to do. I'm going to try to do that in the next couple of days. I know that I delayed on this. I ended up going back home, back to bad internet again. But I am still really excited for this game. Especially with it being full screen, you can look behind you and see I've got a wolf, big old dream catcher. I've got a wolf statue, a wolf mug. There's another wolf picture back there. I love wolves and I love werewolves, and I'm very excited for this game. But I'm also wary for it. I am. But this trailer was good. I think it was better than the previous trailer. The previous trailer with a little bit of the news stuff it had at the beginning and stuff, maybe helps people understand it a lot more. You know, this just kind of made it look like werewolves/wolves are really mad at company for building these facilities kind of thing, which is, you know, not too dissimilar to what it actually is. But, you know, how long have I gone on for now? 33 minutes. That's longer than my discussion video, so I'm definitely going to label this a reaction/discussion because it is a long discussion on all this. And I apologize. I'll probably put timestamps down in the description. I wish I could figure out how to do the thing where you can have each section of the play bar labeled, showing where each thing is, but until I figure that out, in the description you'll have timestamps to help move yourself around to different parts of this video if you don't like hearing me rambling. So, but for now, those that did watch all the way through, thank you. Thank you to all of my subscribers, everybody who checked this out for the first time. I will also try to put up some cards in the corner, either corner, I'm not sure which one, of my previous 2 discussions I made on this game, the previous trailer and of the kind of reveal for the game. I'll see about making that haul video next. Expect that at some point, assuming I don't get too procrastinated. Thanks again for watching. I'll see you all next time. Peace.